Steven here, and let's actually just finish off this mod. So now, whenever we shoot our fireball, we want it to deplete the mana, and uh, and then we want the mana to regain over time. But let's just start with depleting. Like I said, I like to code in small chunks and make sure everything works. So when we run this command, I'm going to animate that circle down to 0. And that should give the effect of depleting the mana. Let's see what happens. Refresh. And press F. Yeah, check that out. That just depleted the mana. Now, it didn't really deplete the mana because I can now shoot a fireball again and it lets me. But the point is that at least the visual effect is there. So now we just need to make it so that we can only shoot if we have enough mana. Let's actually make a variable called mana, var mana, and we'll start it at 100, I guess. And no, let's just start it at 1. And we will make a function called set mana. So new mana is going to be there. And what that is going to do is set mana to new mana, and it'll set the circle to animate to that amount of mana. So it animates to new mana. By the way, we can test that here on the web page. I like to test on the web page as often as I can, just because it's a little bit faster. I don't have to run it in Minecraft. So I'm going to open up my JavaScript console here. And it's throwing some errors because it's not running in Minecraft, but I don't think that'll be a problem. We should just call set mana, and I'll pass in something like 0.5. So it's kind of a percentage. There we go. Yeah, now we're at 50% mana. And 7, that should get us to 70% mana. Very nice. Let's try 9. Yep, so that's 90% mana. So that's working perfectly. So we have a set mana function that sets the variable and animates the progress bar, the mana circle. So we're going to use that here instead. So when we fire the fireball, we're going to set the mana down to 0. Now that's up to you. You can decide that you don't want it to go all the way down to 0, but I'm going to do that just for the demonstration. So set mana goes to 0. And now we have a mana variable that we can test. So I'm going to say on key input if the key is F and we have enough mana. So mana is greater than or equal to 1. Then it'll let me do this. So now we're much closer. I'm going to refresh. And I'm going to shoot that fireball, and it should only let me shoot one fireball. So I shoot one fireball, now the mana is depleted, and I'm pressing F, and nothing. Nothing. I'm just spamming F, but no fireballs. It's because we have no mana. So that's almost there. So all we need to add in now is the ability to regain mana over time. So let's do that. By the way, we're going to use this same trick here, which should show you that this is something you might want to remember. The set interval is the way to get things to happen over time. So I'm going to set an interval and set it up here. And I'll have a function that runs every, let's say, 10th. That's 1,000th of a second. Let's have it run every 10th of a second, and it will add to mana. I'll do plus equals 10, 100. Let's do that. Let's see what that does. So that'll be a kind of a slow mana regain over time. You can change that number to change the speed that the mana regains. So that shoots it. I don't see it regaining over time. I know exactly why. It's because we just changed mana. What we should have done is set mana. So we're going to set mana to mana plus 1 point or 0.01. So we'll set mana there, and that will animate the circle as well. So refreshing and pressing F. There we go. Look, the mana's coming back up. It's coming back up. Coming back up. It's pretty slow. But now... Oh, so now we have a bug where it's going up too much. It's just like continuing to circle around. So now we need to change this set interval so it only sets the mana if it's below 1. So if mana is less than 1, then we can do this. Otherwise, we just don't do anything. Now that the bug is fixed, let's refresh again. I'll do time set day, and let's press F. Nope, I'm not going to shoot the bunny. I'm not going to do it. So it depletes the mana. It starts to come back up. It's climbing. It's climbing. Man, that is slow. I think I'm going to change that soon. It's climbing, and cool. Now it's back. Now the question is, does it let me shoot again? Yes, it does. Does it let me shoot while it's climbing? No, it does not. I'm pressing F right now. Nothing is happening. But now that it's back, does it let me shoot? Yes, it does. So we are actually totally done. This is it. We finished. We now have a mana bar, or a mana circle. We have the ability to shoot fireballs with the F key, and the mana regains over time, and we can only shoot when we have full mana. So that's a ton of stuff. That's a ton of features in this mod that we just implemented over the course of the last few videos. I just want to reiterate, I know I've said it a million times, so I just want to hammer it home. You do not write code line by line by line. Code is something that grows. It's kind of an evolution. You add stuff here, you add stuff there. You solve little problems here, you solve little problems there. It is not something that you just crank out in a linear fashion. So I tried to take you through what was exactly my process when I did this the first time. I tried to even like run into the same problems that I ran into the first times, just so that you would see what it's actually like for a real coder to code something. It's not clean, and it's not like it all just comes together with no problems. There's always problems. You're always constantly solving problems. You're always constantly running little experiments. You're always constantly deciding, well, maybe I would prefer it to do something different. You know, like even now you could say, well, I don't want it to spawn above me. I want it to spawn right in front of me so that I can use the crosshairs. There's always little things that you run into that you didn't expect, and it's up to you if you want to change them or not. But for right now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to stop. Coding is a process that's very organic. It's very much a matter of doing some coding, testing it out, making new decisions, going back to the code. You keep doing this kind of cycle. So if that's what you're doing when you're coding, you're doing it right. And if you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong. If you're just sitting there trying to type out all the code and get it to all work the first time you ever run it, you're absolutely doing it wrong. But happy coding. Do it right. See you next time.